Welcome back to Book of Dawn, Ioth Academy. Our heroes are in their third year at the titular School of Magic, and they're getting into some trouble. Some of them are working on doomsday devices capable of controlling holes in the universe. Others are getting extra homework. Some are growing drugs in a distant part of the city, and others are spreading nasty rumors. Yeah, your standard middle school stuff, really.
We have it all.
Am I going to get demonetized for saying drugs in the first 30 seconds? Whatever. That ship has sailed. Arianna was asking for help with her homework, and she got some tips about how to focus. And it involves taking cold showers. So, roll a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, no. This might not be our first bathroom-based trauma.
No, you don't like those. Nope, don't like them at all. No, they don't like it. It's intolerable. It's absolutely intolerable.
Just like in real life.
What, are you feeling more awake?
I think I'm gonna go crawl back in bed at this point, warm myself up.
So if that doesn't work, what else would Arianna try to bring her grades up? Garnet shot her shot. That didn't go anywhere. Would else?
Arianna have shared with us her past with the Alpha?
That's up to you.
I think I would have. Yeah, for sure.
Because if so, Athalor would totally offer to try and do some guided trances that she probably would have seen her adoptive parents use.
Okay.
But I can't do that, can I?
No, but I imagine you've got a weaker ass version.
I mean, you're so. You know what? This is actually a great time for us to step away for a brief moment to deal with how alchemy classes are going. Roll for me, please, a nature check and an herbalism check.
I hope I haven't been lying this whole time.
So I'm going to say your alchemy classes have been going well. Your extracurricular activities, on the other hand, give me that herbalism check. Base it on your intelligence.
Okie dokie.
Okay, this is for your side project. You have 1 point. You only got a 9 on your nature and a 12 on your herbalism check. You have 1 point of inspiration if you want to use it.
I'm going to use it because I'm afraid of what might happen if I don't.
Okay, re-roll your nature check and take the better of the two.
Don't let me down.
14.
Vaguely.
Okay. This is not easy. The Mordane flower only is supposed to grow in the cold bogs of the Megaini swamps and marshes. That's replicating that environment and the specific alkaline content of the soil. This is where black dragons live and swim, not the pleasant, temperate, controlled climate of the Grove. You're trying to artificially create this by messing with the soil, adding salts and acids to the soil and different fertilizers, and using magic to modify the temperature. It's finicky. It is such a finicky plant. It is so hard for you to get it to flourish. So it's not thriving at this point, but it is surviving, and you're slowly coming to understand it a little bit better. Your alchemy class is going well. And again, some of it is combine ingredient X with thing Y to make Z, but it's not just about the chemical properties of both. It's the fact that, for example, gold is not merely a form of metal. It is also is a very, very pure form of earth that is slightly imbued with or tuned with the element of fire. And it represents sort of this purity, this perfection, and it's associated with the sun. And not only does it have certain chemical properties, but it has certain magical symbolic properties. When you mix it with other things, you have to keep all of these in mind. Potions are not simply chemical concoctions. There's a magic, there's a ritual, there's a symbolism to them. They give an example that warriors of certain demonic Imperium tribes would fight giants and pickle their toes and use that as an ingredient in a potion of strength. There's nothing chemical about a giant's nasty toe that makes you stronger, but the symbolic aspect of that giant's strength through the correct rites and rituals can be extracted to make you strong. Also, if you're going to drink a potion with someone,
Tarantino.
and also if you're tough enough to stomach something that had a toe floating in it, you're already pretty tough. But when you make a potion, this is why when you see like Macbeth and such, when people are brewing things in cauldrons, they're not just, okay, I need 3 moles of this and 5 grams of this. You have to stir the pot thrice clockwise if it's in this phase of the moon and utter these enchantments over it, because if a non-alchemist took the exact same ingredients and mixed them together, they would just make a poisonous mess. But an alchemist who understands the symbolism and the way everything's connected in the universe who makes that potion, that's different. And you are able to apply some of that knowledge of the power of symbols and the connections of these larger aspects of the universe working together, the laws of creation. That is helping to a certain degree with the Mordain flower. But Mordain is not only is it finicky as a plant in terms of where it likes to live, but it's finicky in terms of its relationship with the rest of the universe. Because there's nothing about dreams in the Emerald Tablets, in the laws of creation. Dreams are sort of an accident, an unintended side effect. They're not hard-coded. It's an emergent property of mortals existing in the world. And Mordain interacts with the realm of dream. Therefore, it's a wild card. It's an outlier. It's not well governed by the laws of alchemy, which makes, the more you get into this, the more you realize you have picked an incredibly difficult project. What is Arianna's?
Sounds like Arianna.
What is her end goal for this?
Well, her end goal is like she was already incredibly interested in just. She knows this is a rare plant. She understands that this is something that is very difficult to get your hands on. It's why it's super exorbitant in price and also super hard to find. Like she knew picking that up, this is something really, really special. So her end goal with this project is to find a way to more, I guess, easily create it. Like figure out how it grows and what makes it happy and just like maybe put a little bit in her garden because it's a cool plant to have. And the Mordain flower is pretty. And so, she's kind of drawn to that aspect of things. So her end goal with the project is to have a living, thriving Mordain plant that she can also learn how to harvest.
I would say you've learned a lot. Again, you are more familiar now than a lot of people about the ins and outs of this plant, but it's still not thriving. You've kept it alive. That alone is an accomplishment, but you're not where you want to be yet. That is annoying.
Yes.
When you say keep plants happy, does Arianna like anthropomorphize all plants in her mind?
Maybe.
I'm also going to have you roll a wisdom saving throw to see if Athalor's trance exercises, which I got launched into this whole thing because mortals dream, elves, they're a kind of mortal, but they trance, they don't dream. So the Mordain flower is emblematic of Arianna's life amongst the elves without actually being one of them. But roll a wisdom saving throw to see if these trances, if these mental exercises kind of help, if the connection to her Alfar past clicks for her.
I love this game.
1.
17. Oh,
Yay!
the nice thing is, this is a way for you to actually feel connected to, to home. You still get letters occasionally. As time goes on, the letters have been less forthcoming and less expository about what your parents are or what your parents are up to and how things are going for them, and a lot more just interested in you and making sure that you're okay and asking about your studies and taking this deep level of interest in your life. Athalor, you've also received some letters from home.
Yay!
Even though this is like a 7-year long, you're going to come back as a different person thing, there's still correspondence. And they're intermittent. They don't always come, one after the other. Sometimes there's a long delay, but it's because things are going really, really well. Your parents are unbelievably busy. Obviously, the gyre is the gyre, and it has to be maintained no matter what. But the refuge overall is doing a thriving business. There's more and more demand, and so everyone there is prospering.
Oh, excellent.
Neither Alexander nor Garnet receive any letters from anyone.
Sad.
Not even
Still left
Sventisca.
unread.
Sad guy.
Well, he's not going to get a response because all he said was "meet me at 11 p.m.," which we are getting to.
Oh, true.
We are
Oh, that's
still
the hook
getting
for the
to.
rest of the episode.
Uh-oh.
Spice.
Meet me behind the Wendy's.
Sventisca's about to go full Swindon and come with a knife.
Oh God.
Shrink, shrink.
Look what I learned. At the college.
Look what I learned. Stabbing.
What is that? A knife? No.
Ah!
I see you played knifey spoony before.
All right. What am I missing? I am inclined, unless there's something schoolwork or the scene we just left behind related, to progress to Alexander's difficult homework load and his secret meeting in the Grove. Is there any montage business we've yet to attend to, team?
Nah, just politely helping Alex pick up his papers after Arianna completely destroys the tower in her boggle slip.
I think she would have also. I think Arianna would have taken what Garnet has said to heart about the yellow robes being pretty fugly.
Yep.
Because she's on the same page right now. And she would probably get some work trying to create something that's like gold and like red stones for like everybody in the group to kind of spruce
Ah.
up their wardrobes.
Neat. Roll a crafting check. You've got your jeweler's kit, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
What am I rolling that with?
Intelligence or dexterity, whichever's higher. Probably int.
Oh, it's not dexterity. I'll tell you that much.
Okay. The
She
first
creates a hula
pass.
hoop.
The first pass is a little rough, but they exist. They're out there now, and they're not just, they definitely add a little bit of color to it. Not your finest work, but it's done. It's just this workload, like if you focus on your craft too much, you're gonna slip even further behind, and you just started catching up.
Yeah, I don't think Arianna would present them to everybody, but she'd also be like, this is not great. Like, if you don't want to wear it, I'm not going to be upset about it. And she'd be really, really, really genuine about that. That this is just in case you want to put some color in your robes.
This for everyone, for all of us?
Yeah.
Yeah, the four of you.
Yeah, sure.
Are
why
they just
not?
like robe accessories?
Yeah.
One sec, I'm bringing up the art.
This red one looks good. I'll take that. I'll wear it.
All right. Anything else to
Go ahead.
tend to? All right. Crowan, how is Alexander dealing with this additional course load? Again, the teacher thought they were teaching you a lesson rather than teaching you a lesson. But thanks to the eyes of the Runekeeper, you are much more able to keep. It's still a lot. It's a lot of work, but it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Are you taking any extraordinary measures? Are you just going to stay up late? If you stay up late, you'll almost certainly get it right. If you skip your meeting with Sventisca, you'll certainly get it right. If you stay up late, you're going to have a level of exhaustion, or you can risk it with just a skill roll to see if you can literally just cram all this stuff, or ask for help, whatever other resources you want to tap into.
Yeah, I think, Alex would definitely prioritize this meeting. That is priority number one. And probably is confident with his abilities enough to just try to like cram everything in the time that he already has. So would try to do that, I think.
Okay, roll an Arcana check.
All right. And before that is a very bad idea. 7.
Okay, it's a lot of work, and it's more sophisticated examples of runes and their interactions. Like, did you know that if you put the runes in a circle, not only does the exact order of the runes matter, but the way that you can draw diagrams and connections between the runes to create additional words from the same letters, which then has different power. And if it's engraved in a solid surface, the orientation according to the 4 cardinal directions can further alter the meanings of that. So it's like adding multiple layers of complexity. When it's getting to be time where you need to leave and the Santisco at 11 p.m. and this homework is due tomorrow, it's not done.
Yeah, Alex would be like, I thought I could get it done before this, but I guess not. So he's gonna go to the meeting and try to cram when he gets back and not sleep.
All right.
Risk the exhaustion level.
Yeah.
Are you going in on this alone? Have you told anyone else?
It'd probably go, at least for this round, would go it alone.
Okay. Does anybody want to happen to be nearby to do opposed rolls, or are we gonna let him sneak off into the night? Narratively, I leave it up to everybody.
I don't know. I think of it, this is kind of like in time with when Athalor is trying to teach Arianna trances and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, respecting his space, definitely. He's trying to sneak off.
I'm busy undermining the entire ethos of the school.
All
A lot
right.
going on for you.
Athalor and Arianna are doing mental exercises. The only problem, Athalor, is that as you're doing these mental exercises and guiding her through this, it's definitely helping her. But roll an intelligence saving throw.
Oh no.
All right.
Okay.
You keep having, when you trance, it treads the paths of your own memory. There's a bunch of stuff crammed into there. When you saw through the universe. So every so often you have these intrusive thoughts and images that keep popping up, but you're mostly able to shake them off. What is Garnet doing as Alexander? Like if as the camera pans over everybody and we see Alexander sneaking from one person to the next, what is Garnet doing before the camera moves on away from her?
Is it going to be nighttime, right? We're at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
ish time.
Absolutely.
Probably trying to deal with that shadow figure in the room and just staring contest or reading about elementals and stuff.
So you just walk by and it looks like she's staring at you, but really she's looking over her book just at her own shadow on the wall. Doesn't even notice.
Is that real? Nothing is real. I'm just having a moment.
Her click's like, she says nothing is real. Praise me, God, and nothing is real.
God.
All right. Well, Alexander sneaks off, having a better understanding of the ins and outs of the Great Hall than perhaps anybody, elaborating on his maps as his time in the Great Hall has gone on. And you've done this before. Nothing could possibly interfere.
Behold, an act of God.
Oh, jeez.
Oh no.
What's it gonna be?
Bolt of Fury.
Uh-oh.
Forged by giants and titans, lightning strikes Vinder's foes.
Oh no.
Okay.
Lore check. Who's Vinder?
Vinder is one of the 4 sovereigns, the elemental gods, the most powerful deities.
Would any of us be described as foes of Vinder?
No, but somewhere in the far future, Sideshow's ass is bacon. Alexander, as you make your way out through the secret passages, are you bringing anything with you? Are there any special circumstances before you set out?
No, nothing super specific.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You creep out using the secret passages, and as you get out of the Great Hall, where it's easier to see what's going on, it's late at night, but outside of the Golden Sphere, which always has this faint light to it, you can tell there's a storm. You're protected from it. Again, the Academy has its own weather systems. There's a storm going on outside. There's powerful lightning and thunder just falling down on the refugee camp that spreads for all directions. And I don't know how much time Alexander spends looking out over that expanse, but it seems like it's even larger than the last time you looked. The tents at the very end and tenements at the very edge have grown, and the stacks, the tenements closer in, have piled on top of each other even further. It's all illuminated by a massive blue bolt in the distance that casts the entire camp into sharp relief. A brief aside. But as you continue to climb, the thunder grows closer. Also roll a dexterity saving throw.
These damn boggles.
18.
18. All right. You narrowly avoid slipping on the giant stairs that take just forever to climb, that are going to take you up to the grove. You narrowly avoid slipping on another puddle of boggle grease. By this point, the boggle problem has... Everyone's aware of it. That this is not just, what an odd thing. People have realized that little fey creatures have been running amok. Nobody really usually sees them. They're very stealthy, but they leave these puddles of oily grease that people slip in. The teachers have issued a warning about it. If you see any boggles, report this immediately. We're trying to track down the source of the problem because this is the subtext, they don't say this. Fey creatures should not be running amok in the academy. That never happens here. You continue to climb the stairs, and you make your way into the grove, sneaking by the secret paths that you mapped out 2 years ago, past the caretakers, towards the back of the library. As you climb, with every step, the air, the wind gets colder.
What are you doing?
Well, like you said, I can't do this alone, right? I need friends, people on my side.
And how do you intend to get Sventisco on your side?
Well, I'm here to find that one out. It seems like she's changed, more focused. I want to make sure that's not against me, but with instead.
And why would
It was
it be
part
with
of-
you?
It's part of your doing that put us in this circumstance to begin with.
Circumstance is a student mad at you, and that's what you're concerned about. Of all the things you've seen during your time here, all the threats you've come face to face with, holes in the universe, fey enchantresses, the shriveled mind of another student who died seeing something, a secret buried here. But the thing that moves you in the middle of the night is the thought that one of the other students might be unhappy.
It's not just the unhappiness. There's something more, at least it feels that way. It's not just unhappiness that drives her to change completely who she is. Maybe it's curiosity at what actually happened to her. You seem to know. That's why you had me do whatever it is in the first place. I'm just trying to fill in the gaps for myself.
To play a fun prank. And I was
Yes, well,
helping.
and help you have.
Choose your words and tread lightly with this one. She is as focused as you think she could be a threat.
Noted.
And you make your way to the back of the library. Now, how did you sign this letter originally?
I signed it his own initials. His ACB.
Bad alphabet.
Okay. When you get behind the library, you're so cognizant of the rain and the storm outside that it almost feels like it's beating down against the hood of your yellow robes, even though it's being held at bay by the power of the academy far above your head. Do you have dark vision?
No.
It's quite dark, and any light would probably draw some attention.
Would I be able to find my way there without light, or
Yeah, you can find
like,
your
am I-
way, but when you get there, the scene is
Got
just
you.
extremely
It's
dark.
just dark. Got you. I suppose. Alex would first try to just like walk around the area and see if,
Mhm.
like, if he gets close to something, like I assume, like, if I'm like, within like touching distance, something, like I could see it.
Mhm.
I would try to just survey the area, see if she's there or any sign of like someone being around.
And how did you come dressed and equipped?
Probably wouldn't be wearing the yellow robes because yellow stands out. He's trying to sneak
Mhm.
around, so probably would have just, he can at will disguise self.
Mhm. So what
Would've
disguise are you
just-
wearing?
Yeah, I would have just very dark, like but like tight fitting, like cloak. Don't want
Okay.
any like loose fabric, anything like that. Has a hood, that sort of thing.
All right. Covert gear.
Yeah, covert gear, sneak
Roll-
around gear.
Roll a perception check.
Sure.
You've learned the unholy secrets of how to turn a t-shirt into a ninja costume. 8. You don't see anyone.
Yeah. After kind of walking around the perimeter, he'd
Mm-hmm.
test the ground, kind of like call out a little bit,
Mhm.
say, "Are you here? Hello, Sventiska?"
Is this in your voice?
Yeah, so it'd be in Alexander's voice.
Okay. She appears. She was lurking in the shadows, completely invisible.
I've caught in sight of her now.
Mm-hmm.
Being careful. I can't say I blame you.
You sound like someone I know. You don't look like it.
Sorry, let me. And then Alex kind of like, dude, half like turn around, pull over his face, disguise self back to his regular looking self, but still keep the same clothes, and then like kind of take his hood off to show.
Okay. Alex.
That's me, yeah.
What do you want?
To be honest, there's something that's been eating away at me, and maybe you could say this is just to put my own consciousness at ease. I felt bad or responsible or all of the above. Do you remember before my friends and I left the grove, there was that night a loud sound in the dorms?
She nods.
I admit that I had part of the doing with it, and I don't know if it was actually directly that, but it seems as though that affected you in some way, and I am sorry for that. I wanted to apologize. I don't know, just caught up in the wanting to make a harmless prank, but I don't think it was harmless, and yeah.
She stares at you with disbelief, her brow furrowed, her mouth slightly agape with disgust and hurt. And at that exact moment, a bolt of lightning rips from the clouds to the ground below. Why would you do that? That was how could you have possibly known that was the exact sound?
I didn't.
Then where did that come? That didn't come by accident. What the hell?
No, if Sintiska, something told me that if I did that, it would get a reaction. I didn't know. I didn't think about it. I didn't think that.
Yeah, I
it
can
would-
tell. Maybe from one of the others, but not from someone in Charir, Alexander. I would have She turns around.
Wait, Sventiska, would you have rather I not came? Would you rather I have left it alone?
I'd rather
Maybe
have
you'd already
never
made
met
your
you in the
peace with
first
it.
place.
Oh. Oof.
Maybe this is just selfish. Maybe it was bad, but I want you to understand that I come here not to, at least the intent of it isn't to reopen the hurt or to have you be angry. And you are obviously, and it's okay to, and I don't know, maybe it's stupid. Maybe I shouldn't have. I just wanted to try to make things better or right. And maybe I can't. And if you say I can't, then so be it.
I don't care. Roll a persuasion check with disadvantage, please. You have a point of
no.
inspiration you may cash in to make it a flat roll if you'd like.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm going to do that.
All right. Roll a flat persuasion check. A 9.
No.
You're about to get stabbed, mate. Unlucky.
You want to make things better? Go back to studying. Maybe do something with your magic, unlike the rest of the people here. And she starts walking off.
Oh.
And Alex just kind of stands there for a good few minutes, partly naively hoping that maybe she would come back. Doesn't really believe that, though, just kind of sitting there processing for a bit. And eventually just trudges on back to the Great Hall.
All right. The winds blow cold and icy around you. Cold, bitter, but silent. There's a pile of homework waiting for you when you make it back late at night. What do you do?
I think on the walk back, internally, Alex would say to the resident in his mind, I guess you're right. And then just kind of leaves it at that.
You don't feel unheard, but there isn't an immediate response. And maybe the silence is worse.
Upon getting back, Alex probably had originally intended for this conversation to go much better than to get back and, cram most of the work, but maybe have like a few hour nap. But that, how it went, probably is distracting him a lot, and now probably actually gets 0 sleep and probably gets through the work, but
All right. The next day is going to be a very, very tough day.
Yeah.
For a number of reasons. Especially since
Boggle.
Boggle! The next day, the students are the teachers are unusually on edge. The storm has cleared, the skies are open, but smoke rises from the west in the distance.
I didn't do it.
There
It wasn't me.
are rumors that Inril Untermaler and several wizards from the College of War were seen heading towards the edge of the dome with great rapidity in the night during the thunderstorm. Nobody knows exactly what happened, but if the leading war master and the war mages were going out there, well, that means there must have been some fight. Whatever the middle of that storm was. There are all sorts of theories running wild throughout the school. The Iron Legions marched on Ioth to conquer it and take its magic. Or maybe one of the Infernals burst forward and walked like a giant stomping through the refugee camp to attack Ioth Academy and eat its magic. Maybe there was a dragon out there. All sorts of rumors are flying left and right.
Would we have a window with a good view of where the smoke's coming from?
Yeah, but it's distant. You're sort of floating several hundred feet inside this giant Instagram filter that obscures your vision and makes it difficult to see out.
Though within that direction, will we know any particular disorder and chaos towards the edges of a refugee camp, or does it just look normal?
Roll a perception check.
Ooh. Who's looking out the window with me?
Anyone who's peeking their head out the window.
I'm gonna need some teamwork on this.
Alexander,
All the curious kids.
Alexander, you have disadvantage because you have one level of exhaustion from pulling an all-nighter. Chat did give you more inspiration, though.
Oh, nice. I knew that. Won't
A
use it
pity
here,
inspo for getting dumped.
Disadvantage 10.
All right. Arianna, it looks like to you that the smoldering is mostly coming from like a few miles past the edge of the refugee camp.
That's
People
odd.
People don't often turn their thoughts very heavily to the outside world around here.
Have you guys ever gone beyond the dome?
Well, in our lives, we all came from outside, right?
Yeah, but do you remember what was I don't know, it was a few years ago. I don't really remember the way that I came in, let alone how I would get home.
I can't remember how I got here. I think Inreal bought me.
Yeah. Teleportation spells.
Yeah, it looks like the smoke is coming from a few miles outside of the dome. What's out there?
Alex, have you mapped out where we are geographically in the world?
Crudely, not to any grand scale or anything.
Do you think there's a settlement over there?
Yeah, what's out to the west?
Alexander,
Come on, Alex, you must know.
make a cartography check with disadvantage. I would also accept history. Anyone who would have a reasonable reason to know the lay of the land can make a history check.
Well, all that depends. Is there elven history here?
There's not a lot of... Well, the academy itself is very important in elven history. The surrounding lands, less so.
All right.
Like all the accounts you read are several hundred years old because they would have been like about the heyday and the founding of the academy before the demonic imperiums, all that stuff. Not a lot of elven history has happened outside the academy and outside the refuges since then.
Cool. So if there are no dawn beings and no elven, that ain't for me.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't know either.
7 on the cartography tools.
You don't
I think there's
remember
some grass over there.
sort of like scrubland. That's all you remember in that direction. It's a fairly like Ioth Academy is situated in what would be a desert if it wasn't for like the springs and mountain water rushing down. It's kind of at the foothills with high mountains to the north and these lowlands out to the sides. Sort of hills, light grass, again, semi-arid for the most part.
Yeah, I don't know personally, Athalor.
But it was bloody loud last night, wasn't it? I think I heard thunder, maybe some rain.
Yeah, it was very stormy.
Maybe those bolts were like some kind of combat magic.
Maybe Cryus would know something. He would get down to the bottom of this.
Yeah, if we lift him up to look out the window.
Maybe the students have heard something. You know, it is good to have friends who have ears and brains, Athalor.
Garnet, thanks to the power of clout, you could tap into your network. I can't guarantee the accuracy of that information, but you are
Yay.
increasingly well connected to a bunch
Clout
of 12 and
tapping
13-year-olds.
activated.
Roll for clout. If you want to roll persuasion or insight, you could 19.
Pretty good.
Okay. You've settled through a couple of different people, some of whom are better informed than others, and one of them overheard Cryus talking to his group of friends, commenting on how the Raveners are the only group foolish enough to approach the Academy. None of the other Imperiums, they all know better than to face Ioth's wrath. It's withstood, for hundreds of years since the Infernals have sort of ruled over the land. But the Raveners, they don't care. They just move around in gigantic warbands, attacking anything that they run into. One of them must have strayed close enough for Inril to have to go out and smite them.
Do you guys know what a Ravener is?
That'd be
Not
history
entirely
for anyone
sure.
who's studied geography, local history, or infernal. Garnet, this
I
kind of
figured
falls.
Garnet would know.
This kind of falls under infernal lore. I'll let you roll history.
Og. Another
19.
one.
Okay, in your surreptitious efforts to learn more about the machine prints of the end times, some of the other, and also, given your past history, the conflict between Brontha and the Iron Empire, the massacre of the Iron Butchers that changed your life forever. There is an infernal known as the Ruin That Walks, a cruel god of swarms and mobs. And those who fall to its influence are called Raveners. They travel in huge warbands. They just live off the land by killing and eating anything that they come in contact with. And when they attack your community, you basically can either become one of them and give your mind over to the Ruin That Walks, fight or die. They're the least organized of the civilizations sort of underneath infernal rule because they're not really a civilization. It's just what happens when these groups break down and they sort of grow as they move across the land. They
I
fight
share
in
that with the party.
yeah.
Everyone.
Just like a nomadic warband. Well, I guess that would be how they'd get so close, because it's not like any infernal civilization would be able to set up a settlement this close to Ioth Academy. They'd get instantly absolutely fragged.
Well, what do they want with kids, especially from a magic school? Isn't there like easier prey out there?
I don't think they want the kids, Garnet.
Well, we're the tastiest ones. We're the young. I don't know.
You don't
Garnet
think
has
they
read the
might
most
not
about
want,
cannibalism of anyone in the party.
Cannibalism check roll.
No,
I
young
figured that
animals
they'd
are always
want-
the priciest ones.
I figured that they'd want whatever secrets the faculty have, right?
Could be both. Two birds, one stone kind of thing.
Yeah, a meal and a show.
But if we get attacked, that means maybe Ioth will make an appearance. If he's real.
Cue the chorus behind Garnet. Oh!
You don't think there's enough professors and caretakers to deal with it on their own? If like that were to happen?
Would I know how strong the Raveners are? Like, are they a threatening group or?
It depends completely on the size of the band, and they the more they fight, the more bloodthirsty and violent they become, and the more infused with infernal might. So you might start out as just some farmer who decided to go with who wakes up and chooses violence instead of dying. And at first you're just a adrenaline fueled farmer with a farming implement trying to kill people. But if you survive the first just full on, full scale, mindless attack and you kill people, you gain strength from those acts of violence. You start to change. You start to become stronger. You start to become more berserk. So, but it really depends on the warband, how large it is, how many kills they've got under their belt. It's almost like a swarm of locusts. It's almost like a natural phenomena. Except totally not natural.
Well, maybe Master Elna will know what they're up to. She would have heard something, right? Wait, is she gone? Is she part of the people that are gone? I don't actually know.
She is one of the most dangerous combat spellcasters in the school. She would have participated.
Damn it. She leave me a note? She
Nope.
leave me a goodbye note? What the hell?
Athalor would kind of peer around the window and like try and inspect Alex, just like because he might look a little bit tired right now.
Oh yeah, definitely noticeably though.
Yeah. Alex, were you watching? No offense, but you look like shit.
Offense taken, I guess. You could have worded
Have you
that
tried
better.
a cold shower? Cold showers are great for waking up.
They are not. I can confirm they are not.
What do you mean?
Arianna on this one. I just even the thought of it is.
I didn't say wake up happy. I said wake up.
But no, I wasn't watching Athalor. I was, I procrastinated a bit when it came to all the work I had to do and stayed up, had a late night.
Oh, that's relatable.
Yeah.
Oh, I have just the thing, a brain massage. And I just like put my hands on Alex's temples and I cast healing hands.
This again.
Oh,
Oh no, Alex probably too tired, just like not really realizing what's happening until it's already too late. So.
Brain.
In front of a whole school, she's about to frag Alex.
Okay, she doesn't know this hurts.
Two things. One, your scalp is now. The last time this happened, it took a while to build up. There's this lingering heat, and your day just got worse.
Oh,
because
How
you
do
can
exhaustion
feel
levels deal with death saving throws?
the next time you reach for that gateway to power, that icy void, that door to darkness within your soul, it's gone. I hope you didn't have to cast any spells today, champ.
and after, I'm like, oh, jeez, Garnet, wait, stop.
Oh, too rough? Sorry.
That was
Did it help?
no.
Did the cries of pain not give it away?
I appreciate it. I just not good. Not good.
I would have prescribed a nap.
This usually works really well with headaches. I didn't test it on sleep deprivation. Good to note, though. Good study. Good session.
Athalor,
Next time
you're feeling strangely hungry and you don't know why.
Oh, well, I know someone who's always down for breakfast.
Sorry, go on, Alexander.
Garnet, next time you are going to do that, can you wait for me to either say yes or no? I just caught me off guard a bit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. No brain massage. Got it.
Again, Athalor, you feel weirdly hungry.
Arianna, breakfast?
Let's go.
No
Thought you would
questions
never
asked.
ask.
But he'd probably be quite curious as to why he's feeling physical hunger as opposed to what you might describe as like social hunger
Yes.
that we've been experiencing thus far.
Want me to grab you some bacon?
Oh, yes, please. And anything warm.
All right.
Ooh, bacon, eggs, some toast. Yeah, you got it.
Guys, Master Elnow didn't even leave me a goodbye note. What if she goes and dies out there?
You have to manipulate someone
You have
else.
a point.
But she
She-
was the one who knew the shadow magic.
Speaking of which, you've been very open about that.
Yeah.
She really didn't tell you where she was going?
I didn't. I guess like we can just say that there's a montage of me checking her office, not seeing her there, no,
Mhm.
etc. with the group.
Yep.
No, did leave me a goodbye note. Didn't even say she was going. But she's not there, and she missed our session. And
Oh,
I'm
you're
gonna
going
be
to give
really
her a
upset
terrible spanking when she returns.
if she's not dead.
Is there someone you could ask about where she is? Like, I'm sure there might be other teachers that know about your situation.
Nobody knows about our. If I got special treatment, you know how pissed everybody would be. You guys are cool though, but everyone else would be pissed. Well,
Good point.
Did you guys hear anything from your teachers? Are we
I-
missing classes? Any of those?
It's the
teaching
morning.
classes?
You haven't started your classes yet, and I don't think any of your teachers would be included in this. I mean, these are people who normally spend their time with grad students or, people who have come of age, combat magic, that sort of stuff. So none of your
No.
teachers would be immediately affected, and this scene is occurring before classes have started because it's time for breakfast, just the morning, yada yada.
Nom 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 nom. Ravenous eating, doing my best Arianna impression right now. There's no stopping me. I shall
I gotta
consume
keep up with you
all.
today.
Wait, Athalor. I'm like not eating. I'm just like in thought about this. Athalor, how far does your
What?
mind reading stuff go?
I don't know. Like,
Well, think, Athalor, think.
well, maybe you think, and then I'll take the answer from you.
Ah, how long? How far? Is it feet, miles?
I don't know. A long way, but I think I've got to be near them first, so that it can sort of tether from there. It's like elastic.
Right. Yeah, but how far can the tether go?
I don't know. We haven't done physical testing. We're all in like just this
Ah.
100-meter square hall.
You are useless.
I am hungry.
Finish your breakfast, and I'll ask again. you
I
done
still
yet?
wouldn't have had time to test.
Are you done yet? Do you know yet?
Is Alexander even touching his food as he's sitting there just feeling this heat that he knows by midday is going to be just burning?
Yeah, he probably had like a couple of bites and was like, "No, I can't do this." Just like full like head and hands, just
Mhm.
leaning down on the desk, that kind of thing, on the table. Just completely ignoring whatever was going on around him.
All right. You four, let me know when you get up from the table to go to your classes. Until then, the scene is yours.
Athalor, do you know yet?
Where would we
This is
even
important.
have a long enough area to see when it cuts off?
Okay,
Do,
here
do
is
you
the
happen to
master
have a
plan.
square mile?
I have a little friend, a friend with legs that can
Oh.
go places.
Well, good for
But
you.
if you can read minds from
Mhm.
far away, we can figure out what's going on miles away. But I don't know how long your tether is. I thought you said it was miles, but I'm not sure if it's feet or miles.
Well, I suppose we just have to connect it and see how far it can go before I lose them.
That's not a good test.
That is exactly how we would test it.
Well, are you going to be able to tell them when it's cut off? Because they're just going to not hear you. And
Well-
then they're just
Or
going to break.
maybe they just think the number of steps they have, and after they hit like 17 million, they can come back.
We have no time to experiment. I want to make sure Master Elnow's not dying out there.
What are we gonna throw your friend over to the smoke?
Yes,
Oh,
that's
How's-
the scouting. But
how are you planning on
wanna be able
surviving
to-
the fall?
no, Athalor, you needed the brain massage more than Alex did.
I needed breakfast. Is what I needed.
Okay, we can test it. But if you
Uh-huh.
get my friend killed, I will kill you.
You
Got
are
it?
sending them into a potential war zone, and I'm the one getting them killed.
Right. Yes.
Oh my goodness, you project so much.
I'm gonna cast Find a Familiar and have
Alright.
my imp appear.
And it's a little,
Right.
it's a shadow. It's a shadow imp, right? So it's this
Yeah.
little bat winged silhouette that just.
Mm. This is oh geez, I never named you. That's a chat point redeem thing. That they can name Impy. Here's Impy. Can
Impident.
you make a mind connection with Impy?
Oh, I don't want to know what's in its brain, but yes,
Okay, do it.
it's done.
Oh,
assume.
here.
Oh God, it sounded like me on that unfortunate day.
Wait, do you not speak common? Impy?
Yes.
Was that actually common or was that like infernal or what?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We speak.
We
Smoke.
Oh.
Smoke.
Smoke.
The girl with the I kind of described Master L now. I think it's the blue hair or something like that. Go find Master L now. Yeah, you staring at me, Impy. You scared me. You
We
understand?
are Una.
Sure. Smoke, Master L now, lady, description of lady. You talk to Athalor. Athalor, elf boy, here. Yes, good. If you no hear Athalor's stupid voice no more, stop walking. Stop. Come back. Come back here.
We seek the master.
Right. And, okay. He's off.
It's like a flying monkey.
So, no, it's him.
Bumps into the window until you open it. It's just like critically dumb.
Actually, it sort of slithers between the cracks in the window, like a shadow on a wall,
Oh, that's creepy.
and then flies outward.
Well, Athalor, you need to take care of Una. Apparently,
we
we
should
have
call
named
it
it.
Cryas.
No, that's taken. That name has been taken.
As
Una.
at a table behind you, Renobi has just dropped her spoon in her porridge as she sees the shadowy apparition fly out the window. She blinks, grabs her spoon, looks back down, and keeps eating.
I saw
They're
nothing.
being weird again.
Okay, Athalor, please take care of it. Please tell me if you lose connection. You can tell, right?
I
If you
mean,
lose
how
it?
long will it take to get there? We have class soon.
I don't know. If an imp walks at 3 miles per hour and the smoke was, according to Arianna,
She's doing maths, we're
exactly
doomed.
4 miles away, then it will take it an hour.
Okay, so what class do we have first? Is it one we share?
I don't know. Can't you send me a message?
I
Or
mean,
is it-
statistically, odds are it's one that we share because
Ve-
it's
yeah.
4 to 1.
Actually, 5, because you're all in the same channeling class as well.
Oh, true. So 5 out of 6 we are
Mhm.
together.
Yeah, so statistically, you all have a similar class up first.
Well, unfortunately for you, I guess we're sitting together today.
Good. I want to know everything.
As it squeezes through, it takes on the form of a raven, but it's still like a raven's silhouette, and starts flying about twice as fast as an adult human would travel.
Okay. I think there's nothing more for Athalor at breakfast. But just the occasional pings, I suppose, to the raven. It's like, yo, you good?
Mhm.
You alive up there?
What up, bruv? Because you're British, right?
Very astute of you.
The British elf.
I see someone cast Identify.
All right. The range on your ability is
2 miles, I think.
Yep. So it gets about a mile, a little over a mile and a half out from the sphere before. Actually, it flies up. No. Yeah, it can go through the sphere. That's right. It can go through the sphere. Normally, the sphere is an impassable physical barrier, except with the proper magics, by the way. But shadow magic appears to pass through. So, closing the name generator, since the imp has been named Una with 2 O's, it gets about a mile and a half over the refugee camp when the connection goes out. And that would take, let's see, 1.5 miles to feet. You know what? Actually, it travels a little bit faster than that. So, this divided by 1,200.
Math.
6 minutes.
Math.
Like 6 minutes.
Caster math.
Before it loses contact.
I think I've lost them.
What? What do you mean you lost it? What do you mean?
I don't.
Are
hear
they
them
dead?
anymore? Well, they didn't seem. I didn't feel any trauma or peril. They're just no longer that stupid internal monologue.
What if the dome cut it off? What if it just disappeared?
Well, I mean, that would make
Oh
sense.
God.
We return!
Oh. No, wait, do they come back into my range or
Into your range, yes. I just checked the ability,
Hold
and
on.
it doesn't sever if you go beyond the boundary. It's just out of range. So as soon as range is reestablished, it comes back.
Okay, I've got Una back. Una, do you know how far you've gone? Oh, I'm asking too much for a piece of shade.
Shut up.
Well, why don't you go to the window, Garnet, and see if you can establish visual contact?
We're in the middle of fucking alchemy. Athalor, I can't just go talk to birds right now.
You've got clout. Make something happen.
I don't have immunity to detention, fucker. Just tell me just tell me if Una's okay.
Roll stealth checks, both of you. Are you using message spells, or are you just whispering?
Might be funnier to
I
whisper.
can't use a message spell because, like, my mind's busy. I don't think that
Okay,
a 13-year-old
both-
boy is
both
going to be
of you
able
roll
to
stealth
conference
checks.
call on it.
Garnet with the 15, and Athalor with the 10.
Pass around trace. Pass around trace.
Pass notes without trace. All right. Let's say that this is in the middle of the taxonomy of magic.
Oh, bloody hell.
Oh yeah, what class are we in? Fuck. I said the wrong class. Just
And the teacher is going to notice that you're in the middle of talking and is going to ask you to list 3 different forms of magical energy. If you happen to know this one extemporaneously, go for it. Otherwise, give me an Arcana check.
Yo, do I get my advantage on this from the elementalism elective?
Yes, I will grant advantage. This counts.
Oh, good advantage on Arcana. Let's go. Athalor tries to tank this one first, I suppose. And does absolutely terribly.
No, you got a 16. All right.
The 2 was obscured by the other one was obscured by my character sheet. I only saw the 2.
Technically, while all elemental energy is sort of in the same classification according to the taxonomy of magic, scholars differ according to the lessons that you took in your last quarter. So you could give the snarky answer, the technicality answer about the different types of elemental magic technically being different. Or you've got, we'll say, elemental, vital energy, and dawn magic.
Oh, that'd probably be Athalor's go-to.
All right. Not the snarky answer. You're
Trying
whispering.
to drop aggro.
Aggro,
Drop
teacher
aggro.
aggro avoided. All right. The class continues. You've got Una in your head. Alexander is just having an awful time concentrating, but I imagine he's keeping his head down and just avoiding eye contact and
Yep.
trying to
His head-
disappear as much as
yeah.
possible.
Head on the desk. Whenever teacher turns around, he tries to like slump up so he doesn't look like he's sleeping, but just.
I'd like to think that now and then there's like a crunch from Arianna next to him.
Snack.
Snap.
All right. Roll a deception check with or performance check with disadvantage for exhaustion, Alexander.
Oh, deception or performance.
Mhm.
All right.
You sleep it in class?
Oh.
Oh, shit.
God.
Jesus Christ.
Probably actually falls asleep.
All right. You
Arianna's gonna use him like a puppet.
you are as Athalor gives his answer, you snore at an inopportune moment.
Am I boring you, Alexander?
Still asleep.
All right.
Zzz.
The teacher will call your name once, Alexander. Alexander.
Going twice?
Yeah. What did you ask? Sorry, could you repeat that?
I was asking for 4 different types of magical energy.
You want an Arcana check?
Yeah, you can Arcana check with disadvantage because you have a level of exhaustion. I will also point out that chat felt bad and they gave you another point of inspiration.
Beautiful.
Academic save.
Oh boy.
You actually, yeah. So you can roll a flat Arcana check if you want.
Okay. One sec. Actually, new stuff. Could Alexander guidance himself before
No.
this? No. Okay.
No,
Oh yeah, because this day is just a BG all around. That's All right,
You go to call upon guidance, which normally takes the form of, little pieces of information brought into your mind on a arcane wind. Now, did you want to spend your inspiration?
Nah.
Okay.
11.
All right. 4 is tricky. 4 is tricky. Can you recite, and the answer's fine. If the answer to this is no, that's fine. Can you yourself recite any that you know count according to this system of classification? If the answer is no, you have 3 answers that you know.
And okay, for me, what was the question again? It was
Name 4 types of magical energy.
4 types of magical energy. Oh yeah, that's probably a no.
Mitochondrial.
BG, mitochondrial, chloroplast,
Photosynthesis.
ATP.
All right. You get 1 possible bailout. We have 3 treasures chat has given us that we have not cashed in.
Ooh.
Smoke bomb.
Pocket Sam, the teacher.
If you want to use one of these to have somebody else's notes, I would allow that.
Could I message him the answer?
Yes, but you'd need to use deception or you need to use...
Can non-magical people hear that?
No, message is... Wait, do you have a special ability that makes it so this
Yeah.
doesn't have any like somatic or verbal components, Garnet?
Correct.
Then yes, you can completely cheat. Roll an Arcana check, Garnet.
Just helping my buddy out.
How magical is Alex when he's cut off from the other?
Yeah, the brain melt that I
Oh,
apparently did.
He has no spells, essentially.
0.
Oh shit! My bad.
you actually fragged him.
If
Yep.
it isn't the consequences of my actions.
It's a rough day. It was a rough day.
He's going in with exhaustion where you're like, what if? Extra
What
hard.
if?
All right.
You got raptured too.
Yep.
Psst, Alex, it's
All right, so elemental infernal, spiritual, and vital or necromantic are the 4 that tend. Now, you could also say shadow, but that's almost like an absence or inverse. Is that one of the answers you would give him?
No.
Okay. Then you get those 4. Elemental, infernal, spiritual or ancestral, and life force or necromantic energy. So those words just rattle into your head and you're able to just repeat them
Yeah.
almost on autopilot.
After a few seconds, and there's like, then the words come into his head, and he's like, okay, deep breath, and then repeats, necromantic, elemental, spiritual, and infernal.
All right. Eyes up here for the rest of today, all right?
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
One voice fades away, and Garnet's in there like, I'm your boss now, bitch.
in response, if at this point Alex can still, message back or respond to it, just say, thank you.
All
I'm
right.
just giving you that.
Sorry about fragging your magic.
Sorry for rapturing you.
All right. The rest of the day goes by. Alexander, you did the homework.
Yeah.
And that was
Alex, this whole
before
point-
your Eyes of the Runekeeper were deactivated.
Oh yeah.
So this is no longer a freebie. You understand the theory. You've done the homework, but your ability to automatically read runes is temporarily unavailable.
This day just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Oh,
So-
Of a fucking egg.
Athalor goes off to planar metageometry class. Garnet is going off to learn about fantastic beasts and where to find them. Arianna is in alchemy, going over different processes of chemical titration and how they relate to the discredited theory of the Great Chain of Being, now replaced with the Emerald Tablet theorem. And Alexander is being called to account for his display of arrogance earlier. Well, sir, what have we learned? Now, you're allowed to handle this however you want. My immediate inclination is an Arcana check with disadvantage.
yeah.
But if there's some other spice you want to throw on this, any other ideas or creativity, feel free to sell me. You have inspiration.
Sure. I think for what it's worth, which is probably not much, Alex has been trying to conserve his whatever energy, whatever strength he has by sleep through earlier classes to make it to this point and be able to be somewhat cognitively here to the very least, even if his magic is gone, to be able to remember and recall what he wrote and just kind of recite that.
All right.
As in presenting these reports, because there's several of them, multiple of them. But yeah, may rely on a Arcana check and then cash in some inspiration from it.
All right. Roll, if you're cashing in one of your 2 inspiration, roll a flat Arcana check.
Oh, 15.
15.
Plus.
Okay.
Nice.
Your original
Saved.
Your original question was about arcane glyphs, noticing them, detecting them, disarming them, etc.
Yeah.
And by going through all this extra reading, none of which was on advanced arcane glyphs. It was all it was more complicated, kind of boring theory and fundamental stuff. But not only do you deliver a good report, an authentic report that sort of flusters your teacher, who is somewhere between impressed and annoyed. As is Cryas. Cryas is in a similar boat.
Good.
But again, if you understand the fact that every rune is a symbol, it's a pattern that holds. Some runes are based on the pattern. That shape actually is good at holding or attracting certain types of energy. Other runes have a lot more power in their meaning, especially draconic runes. It's about the meaning of the symbol, and as time goes on, that and more people use that symbol, it acquires more meaning. The symbol of a god or a deity has power because it's like a little channel of their power. And if you understand this sort of code, this language, then you're able to recognize, hey, that rune explodes. That rune is designed, is specifically shaped, because most glyphs and symbols aren't complex like words. They're not made by writing a whole bunch of runes out in a row. It's made by putting a single symbol, a single glyph, which can contain several runes, but they overlap each other. They're sort of layered on top of each other to make so that the sum is greater than the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So you understand a little bit of how they're constructed, why they're constructed that way. So it's not this long rune word. You do that for a binding circle. But for something that's when you touch it or read it, it explodes, you want it all sort of compact. With one little trigger, I read this, and then it's, this translates to your head explode. So despite the teacher trying to bury you in all of this, what's the word I'm looking for? Syntax, essentially. And it's your choice whether you present on this or not. You have learned a thing or two about identifying dangerous glyphs and some of the ways that they can be avoided. Some of them, when they're created, they are attuned so that it's actually written in the symbol, the exceptions. This person is allowed to pass. Somebody wearing this symbol is allowed to pass. If you speak this password, you're allowed to pass. There's a variety of different ways. But now if you came across one of these, especially when Eyes of the Runekeeper comes back on, you'd have decent odds at being able to glimpse at it without immediately setting it off. Hopefully long enough to learn its conditions and maybe bypass it.
All right.
Cut to a heist checklist. 1 tech.
Yeah. Valuable skill.
Speaking of which, as time goes on, months of the school year go by of these classes. Again, we're in this sort of montage free form, people working on their projects. And if you're working on a project and I've had you make rolls for it, next session, we're probably, unless you get into some severe hijinks, going to finish this school year, and you'll get a second chance to advance those projects. The Mordain Vapor research, I believe that Garnet wanted to do some research into the Infernals and into Anacra. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. You'll have the opportunity to advance those projects a little bit more. By the way, at the end of the day, that next night at midnight, without any further report, Master Elnau is waiting for you in class.
Wait, did we ever get like what did Una say like okay, everything's good, or
Una flew out 2 miles, saw craters and like smoldering craters and corpses about another 2 miles away from the camp. Large numbers of bodies being cleaned up.
Do we know like were there robed corpses, like Ioth robes, or
Una only went out the 2 miles
oh
to stay in communication boundaries.
right.
Couldn't see all the way out there, but saw again corpses and signs of magic that tore up the whole area, as well as pieces of the terrain that were cracked and the sand had smelted into glass. Lightning strikes.
Jesus. So I probably go see Master L now when it's
Unless there's anything else
time.
the party wanted to do. I did cut ahead. We have a hard out in 6 minutes. But was there any other follow-up the party wanted to do, or do we want to cut forward to you meeting with Master L now?
I'm Gucci.
Good.
Nothing from me.
All right. Garnet. That, again, at midnight, Master L now is waiting for you like she always is.
I probably come in pissed, trying to like mask any worry. Just like trying to like, obviously, like, you know, when moms are like really worried, but then come off kind of pissed. It's like that kind of mad worry. Like, where were you? I didn't get a text. I didn't get a note. We were supposed to finish our Shadow Elemental review last night, and you didn't show up. And then I see smoke off in the distance. You're gone. What happened?
Roll an insight check.
Da, da, da.
13. You're a shadow mage. Do you still sleep?
Yeah.
Okay. But you're starting to derive more of your sustenance from beyond, not from this world. And that has an effect on you. It has a change on you. It's sort of like the pupils somehow become deeper, more vast. And when you look at her, she doesn't appear physically tired, but you can see the signs of shadow magic on her. She has drawn deep from the well of the void in the last 24 hours.
Kind of like squint and like get a better look at her and just, are you okay?
There was an attack. A band of Raveners approached the camp. Inril called the War Mages. Regardless of how they feel about the last time I was called upon, I answered the call. Lives were at stake.
Is everyone else okay? Saw some bodies,
Yes.
corpses.
We sustained no casualties.
Oh, good. Any threats to the academy, or you got to go out there again?
If it happens again, one Ravener band, there could be another later. We're increasing our perimeter security. Inril's in charge of all of that.
Can I come next time? I would be really good help. This would be a great learning opportunity. We haven't done combat much, like at least in person, like examples.
That's by design. It's a very different thing to soar above the battlefield, laying down fireballs as you go with utter impunity than it is to be down on the ground in the thick of it. Roll persuasion check for me, Garnet.
Oh shit!
Time for a
I'm
nat
going
20.
to war. Wait,
Nope.
no, I want to roll.
You are banned from combat until you are 30.
I want to go to war. I want a lightsaber.
That's backhand, stupid girl.
All right.
I lucky dice it.
You lucky
Or-
dice it. Roll a second roll. 16. She thinks about it for a moment.
Why?
No, there's no way. We risk enough with these lessons. I couldn't risk you getting noticed by Master Inril, Master Untermaler.
Mm.
I have to arrange something else.
Well, can you stop going out there? Because if you die, who's gonna teach me shadow magic? Merrick's gonna be pissed. I'll tell Merrick.
If I'm die, you'll tell Merrick if I die.
Yeah.
Her face
Oh.
goes a little bit stern, as if that means something.
He'll punch you in shadow heaven or whatever. He'll kill you again. He'll resurrect you and kill you again.
You get the impression he might be able to do that.
He can't.
No, we'll find a way. We'll find something else. A little less dangerous, but a little more hands-on for you to practice.
When do we get to go talk to Mr. Machine Prince? Is that next year? How about this year?
Forces
This
of
year?
the Infernals are knocking at our door, and you want to go to them.
What about a
What
second?
if we recruited Mr. Machine Prince to go fight the Raveners?
I don't think you understand how these allegiances work.
Yeah, you have an alliance with them. Aren't we shadow people? Aren't we all gonna get along?
Okay, let's talk about this. And she goes into her bag and pulls out a large iron-covered book, the cover of which is locked by a series of intricate interlocking gears. And she sets it down with a heavy thud. All right, let's talk about the Machine Prince. And we will follow up with the rest of our third year at Ioth Academy in our next episode. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Have a good one.
Later, gamers.
War.